When I first got into public interest work many years ago, I formed an organization called the International Center for Economic Justice. It was basically to bring about free trade, to promote commerce, to allow for competition. I'd been an antitrust lawyer at the Justice Department. I helped break up AT&T. I believe in competition. I believe in consumers be able to get the prices that they want on the products as long as there's fair trade, it's free trade. Later, I converted this organization into Freedom Watch. After I ran for the US Senate in Florida, I decided to do what I did at Judicial Watch, which I also founded in 1994, to investigate and prosecute government corruption and abuse. Well, about 2 years ago, I saw that the PGA Tour was trying to kill a competitor. The competitor was called LIV. It was a new golf tour financed by the Saudi Public Investment Fund. They used every tactic in the book, smearing LIV players, dividing markets, doing all kinds of things that I believed were anti-competitive and in fact violative of the US antitrust laws. In my own name, I brought a case in Palm Beach, Florida, as a golf consumer. Initially, it was a class action. Recently, I've converted it into an action solely on my behalf to streamline it, to have it go quickly. Because in the last 2 years, the attorneys for the PGA Tour on their behalf, and also as Commissioner Jay Monahan, they're both defendants in the case, have done everything they could to throw a monkey wrench into the case. They have not succeeded. They've lost 2 motions to dismiss. And the 2 individuals I was most interested in taking the oral testimony of, Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy, I alleged were at the center of the anti-competitive conduct, orchestrating it with the official golf world ranking, with major tournaments, the majors. There are 4 of them in particular, and also with the European Tour, which is known as the DP World Tour. I've been seeking to take the deposition of Tiger Woods in particular now for quite a while, and it's been granted 2 times by the court that I can take it, and even on appeal, it was sustained. But you got to have a laugh here in some ways, because the lawyers who represent Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy are the same lawyers, if you can believe this, who represented the woman E. Jean Carroll, who figured out 40 years after the fact that she had been, quote, raped, unquote, by Donald Trump. Obviously, this was a setup. It was put up basically to damage Donald Trump, and it came before a judge, a very leftist judge in New York City, that allowed this thing to proceed. That being said, these lawyers have tried to do every trick in the book to prevent Tiger from being deposed. And I pointed out to the court that that's absurd, because they deposed Trump and they released that video to try to harm him in that E. Jean Carroll case. The lawyer on the local side representing Tiger Woods is a person who represented Hillary Clinton with regard to the RICO case, the Racketeering Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act case, which Donald Trump brought against Hillary Clinton and others with regard to the Russian collusion investigation. You see the link here? Democratic Party, leftist lawyers representing Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, and in effect, the PGA Tour, because they collaborate to try to throw a monkey wrench into it. Now, stay tuned. Go to our website and you'll see the case, follow it, and see what's happening, because this is important. Because without competition in this country, without fair competition, then that hurts our economy. In this particular case, it raises the price of tickets to people who want to go to PGA Tour events and even LIV events. And we've seen just in the recent months that because the PGA Tour, when certain players left to join LIV, they got suspended. In Europe, on the DP World Tour, they were suspended and also fined. That has had the effect of not allowing the players, who are independent contractors, to play against each other. And it's harming both leagues, because television ratings are down, because the players that were left on the PGA Tour, generally speaking, were not of the same quality that went to LIV. LIV pays very well. And also it's an interesting format, 54 holes. They play the music. It's very attractive to younger people, and it's fun. They have concerts and everything else. So I want you to follow this, because there's a political element as well. You have these senators like Richard Blumenthal, this leftist who shows up at Communist Party events, unbelievable, from Connecticut and others who are trying to kill it because they don't like the Saudis. But keep this in mind. Saudi Arabia is one of our best allies. It supplies oil to the United States. It has invested heavily in companies like Walt Disney, Boeing, Apple, and others. Probably in addition to Great Britain and Israel, it is our best ally. And it was wanted to become an ally of Israel as well. And in fact, it has a common enemy, which is Iran. So why you would try to kill something just because it's financed by the Saudi Public Investment Fund, which, by the way, finances most of the LPGA Tour, that's the women, they didn't attack them, makes no economic sense. But I want you to file this case, and I want you to also observe Tiger Woods. Interestingly enough, in the Trump trial that's going on right now in New York with regard to allegations of hush money, an individual by the name of David Pecker took the stand. He was the owner of the National Enquirer. Well, he paid money to kill stories, not just with regard to Donald Trump, but with regard to Tiger Woods. That came out just yesterday. Tiger Woods is no Boy Scout. They paint him into being something he's not. They deify him. And it's going to come out in our case exactly how he played a role in trying to kill the Live Golf League. This is not somebody who, frankly, is just a golfer. He's doing other things as well. He's a multi-billionaire in many ways, and he's not above the law, and he needs to be held accountable just like everybody else in this society, fairly, with respect. And when I do depose him, and it will occur relatively shortly, he will be treated with that respect, but he has to answer questions. But I wanted you to know that Freedom Watch is much more than just a public interest group that deals with political corruption. We deal with corruption economically because the economy is the lifeblood of our system. Golf is becoming a huge industry. People are joining it in droves, and it's very important to our way of life. Thank you for listening to me. Go to freedomwatchusa.org, contribute to our cause with tax-deductible contributions. Help keep not just our nation free politically in terms of its government, but keep our economy capitalist and open so everybody can participate fairly and to advance the interests of the American people. God bless you. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. Until then, thank you for listening to me.